Hey folks, today's episode of WTF is sponsored by Hulu Plus. With Hulu Plus, you get total control to watch thousands of shows wherever you want, whenever you want. Full seasons of your favorite shows, stuff you just missed, every episode of classic shows, stand-up specials, basically everything you watch is on Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus is only $7.99 per month when you go to huluplus.com/WTF. And right now, get an extended free trial of Hulu Plus that is only available to podcast listeners. That's huluplus.com/WTF for your extended free trial. All right, let's get on with the show.
Lock the gate!
Okay, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers? I am Marc Maron. This is WTF. It's my show. Welcome. I'm not even going to get meta or make note of the fact that I trimmed down the intro this time. I was just trying it on for size. Is that okay? That's what I did. I hope you're well. I do want to tell you that if you're in Denver, Colorado, tomorrow night, Friday, August 23rd, and Saturday, August 24th, I will be at the Comedy Works in Denver, Colorado. If you want to make the trip or come on down or buy some tickets and not go just because that doesn't even make sense. But that's where I'll be. So come down. I love that club. It's a hot room. It's a hot room, man. It's so hot in terms of crowd response and just the structure of the room that as a comic, I question whether or not things deserve that much laughter. Now, of course, after saying that, I'll go there and have the roughest weekend of my life just because that's the way my brain works. That's right. You hear those mills? Those are the mills of negativity whirring away in the back of your mind. Why, Mark? Everything's going well for you. Because that's the way my brain is wired. And in order to make that go away, I got to shut down that mill. I got to put people out of work. Well, not people exactly, but the guys in my head that are milling and maybe mining negativity as well. That's probably a better metaphor. I got to close down that mine and put those little evil fuckers out of work that are mining negativity in order to produce gems of failure. Or not even gems of failure at this point, but gems that when you look at them clearly in all their facets, all they can do is illuminate your self-doubt and insecurity. Holy shit, it's Metaphor Day on WTF. Why not play some guitar? Well, that's a good question, Mark, because you're not necessarily a guitar player, but I have to admit, friends, because it has something to do with this show that you're about to hear. Oh, by the way, Tom Segura is on the show today. I love Tom. I love his wife, Christina Pazitsky. She was on the WTF. It was episode 387. And it was a great interview. It was a live one. And it's also a good excuse, if you want to connect these two, to go out and get that app. You don't even have to go anywhere. Go out to your phone and pick up the WTF app for free. If you could take the long walk to your phone and turn that fucker on, I should probably turn mine off. You can upgrade to the premium app and stream every episode of WTF if you want to hear Tom's wife, Christina. She's awesome. But I've been sitting here thinking about guitar playing because also on the show, the band Yacht, I guess you could call them a band. There's two of them, and it's primarily computer generated, but it is a band, and I do like them. They're on the DFA label, and they came in a box of stuff that was sent to me by DFA. And I always liked them. Out of a lot of the DFA artists, I really resonated with Yacht. And they got a little edge to them, and it is dance music. It is, I don't know what you would call it. I don't know how you would classify it, but it's got a good beat. It's got a beat you can move to, but I dug them. But I knew they were in town. I knew they were somehow attached to comedy, in terms of performing at a space where there was some comedy. But I just kind of liked them. And then out of nowhere, they asked me if I wanted to play guitar on one of their songs. They did a sort of groovy dance beat protest song against the NSA. And I said, hell yeah, I do. I want to be a professional musician. And you got to understand, that doesn't make me a professional musician. Obviously, I'm aware of that, but it does make me a musician who played on a song that was on the radio, which is not nothing. And quite honestly, I only play for me. I play guitar for me, and I got to put my heart out there to all of you that do something that you love for yourself. Obviously, we should do everything that we love for ourselves. But there, guitar playing, and I've shared it with you. It's sort of my secret hobby. because I don't do it professionally, but I love to do it. And I do believe that I've made progress at it. And this is where the blues come in. And this is where the minors of negativity come in. And this is where the sort of, the anxiety generators come in, is that I don't listen to the blues a lot, but it's all that I play, really. Most of my stuff, and I've talked about it before, is blues-based because I feel like I've gotten better as a guitar player lately. And not because I play with other people, just because I dig deeper into what I already know. And the blues, and I guess comedy to some degree, is one of the few things that you can do that with, is that like, I've got a little bit of craft in place. I know a few notes. I know the 5 that are necessary. And many of the greatest blues artists only worked with those 5. So there's got to be a way to wrench out whatever the hell it is that I need in my own way out of those 5 fucking notes. You know, whether it's mourning or dealing with or celebrating the part of your soul, the part of your heart, the part of yourself that gets crushed or lost when you are emotionally attached to anything. So when Yacht asked me to play with them, I was like, you sure you want me? And I didn't know why they wanted me. But here's the deal. I've got the song on here, and I've actually got Yacht in here to talk about the song, to talk about their approach to music a little bit. And then also to answer the question, why the fuck did you ask me to do this guitar solo? I only do one thing good on the guitar, one area, one sort of sound. And it turns out that's exactly what they needed. So it was, fortuitous or, you know, it was a good booking. I don't know. I'm just excited to be on a record. I'm excited to talk to Yacht. We'll do that in just a second. But first, I want to let you in on something that I learned from LegalZoom. Most Americans don't have a will, and that's weird because a will makes sense for most people. You don't want somebody else dictating what happens to your children or your stuff, but most people don't have one because they say it's too expensive or too time consuming, or they're just in denial that they're going to die. That's where LegalZoom.com comes in. It's the best option for an affordable will, and most people finish the online process in 20 minutes. You can go to LegalZoom.com and fill out a state-specific will that's personalized based on your information. LegalZoom has 12 years of experience helping people with important legal matters. Go to LegalZoom.com today and get 15% off your last will. To get your special discount, be sure to enter Maron in the referral box at checkout. For wills, powers of attorney, trusts, and more, go to LegalZoom.com. LegalZoom can provide self-help services at your specific direction or connect you with an attorney, but they are not a law firm. I don't want to get your names wrong. Claire Evans?
Yep.
Jonah
Two strikes, buddy. 2 strikes. It's Jonah like Jonathan and Bechtold. It's fucked up. I'm sorry.
But you made it complicated.
I know. I'm sorry.
I say this to him so much.
Really? Change your name?
Well, okay, his name is Jonathan.
Right.
But he's insisted since he was a child on Jonna, and no one has ever gotten it right.
It was totally a baby decision. I didn't insist on it.
Yeah, well, you gotta.
When I was a baby, I couldn't say Jonathan, and it just stuck. My parents.
And that's who you were?
Yeah, that's
you
who
were
I am
Jonna?
now. Yeah.
The reason I know you at all is because Jonathan Galkin.
Yes.
Out there at DFA, because I didn't know anything.
Great man.
He is a great man.
Yeah.
But he was a fan of mine. I didn't know anything about Murphy. I didn't know anything about LCD Sound System. I'm like, look, I seem to have missed this entire chunk of music history. I don't know your label.
Yeah.
And he sent me a box, and you guys were in it. So I put on your records, and at some point, like, I invested a lot of mystique in you guys, and I'm like, these guys are interesting. They seem to have a system in place. There's a bigger picture here. This had nothing to do with the music.
Right. And now we blew it. Coming here, we blew it.
No, you blew it when I come over to your house.
All right.
I'm like, oh, they're just people. Yeah. They're not these mythological beings that have a system.
Yeah.
So how'd you guys start out, though? Where'd you meet, and where'd you come from? Claire, you first.
Okay, Claire, you go first.
Okay, how far back do you want to go?
All the way.
Born, 1984, dystopia.
Yeah.
No, I was born in the United Kingdom. I emigrated to the United States when I was 8. I lived in Portland, Oregon my whole life. I went to school in Los Angeles, and I played in a lot of punk bands and sort of art rock bands. I met Jonna in 2004 when my incredibly weird and difficult noise rock band was playing with an early incarnation of Yacht. It was like at first sight.
Aww.
Oh, so big of me. And then years later we started collaborating. We became sort of friends and collaborators over the years, and then I joined Yacht officially in 2009.
So I was born in 1980 in Madison, Wisconsin. My parents moved around a bunch until we settled in Astoria, Oregon, their hometown. So I grew up mostly in Astoria, and I started a punk band with my older brother. It was his idea when I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And then I completed middle school. And that was it.
Yeah.
Then I decided from then on I didn't want to be a part of any kind of formal education system.
Time to join the circus.
Yep. So my brother and I moved in together into a shitty house in southeast Portland and started this punk band, and we had like aspirations of being on MTV. Like it was pop punk.
What'd you play?
I played drums.
And he played
guitar and sang. We were just a two-piece. So
nice.
we had a lot of novelty.
A little ahead of the curve on that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we were like, super into like early 90s pop punk.
Mm-hmm.
Really wanted to make it. And
well, like They Might Be Giants?
No. Well, I mean, sure, like early They Might Be Giants was probably some kind of inspiration, but like more like No Effects, like Fat Records,
yeah.
Like, but Bay Area, so like
right.
Lookout Records,
right? With just two instruments, that was sort of a bold undertaking.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
and our whole thing was that we had a like great stage banter, the two of us, like little brother, older brother stuff. I had braces. I was tiny. I had bleached blonde hair.
So you had a comedy act.
It was pretty much a comedy act.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think in retrospect we can say that.
Well, it sounded like it was kind of cute and it was fun.
Yeah.
And how did you evolve into whatever you became?
Well, through that band, we had convinced a family friend to invest in our band, and so we bought a computer, and that's when I fell in love with computers.
Mm-hmm.
So we started like self-producing and recording just in our house, and that just evolved into me wanting to make something completely by myself on a computer, and to use the computer sort of as like a punk tool.
Yeah.
Like the way that, I guess 4-track cassettes helped people make like lo-fi recordings and sort of birth that whole scene.
Right.
I wanted to do the same sort of thing with computers. And other people were doing that too, but I wanted it just to be a completely self-contained thing where I made like all the album artwork, the website, the recording, like everything just with this single object.
Uh-huh.
And the performance was all about the object too. So then I just started playing shows by myself with a computer, and it was totally terrifying because I'd always had someone else on stage with me.
Yeah.
And I played in a handful of other bands.
Yeah.
After playing with my brother, but yeah.
But you would just end up there by yourself, just pumping it through a speaker.
Yeah, and I had to figure out because like a lot of people started doing laptop music like in the early 2000s, and every performance that I went to, every show I went to, I was like totally bored. I was like, there has to be a better thing than like watching a guy seemingly checking his email the whole time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make something that was like interesting to watch and also like fun to do.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if I ever succeeded, but I tried a bunch of different things.
Like what?
I would like kick the laptop a lot. I got really physical with it. I broke a bunch of laptops.
Uh-huh.
He had amazing video and audio. He would do these conceptual bits.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the time.
I guess comedy's always been a part of it, weirdly.
I remember back in the day there was one show where God would break the computer and call you from the PA from within the show.
Yeah,
and then you'd have to have this conversation with God and then start all over again.
I grew up Catholic. So
there was a lot of like self-punishing OCD weirdness.
Sure, that's the Catholic,
Yeah.
self-punishing.
Yeah.
So you had to bring God into it?
I guess I did.
And he was judging you?
Yeah, he hated it.
Yeah, it was so weird and interesting that I remember the first time I ever met Jonna when my band played with him in 2004. We had a band meeting the next week where we all discussed how we could be more like Yacht.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
He knows that.
I knew that much later, but yeah.
And I totally forgot
Made me
that.
blush.
I totally forgot that until after I had been in the band for many years, and I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure that happened.
How many records do you have out?
5 full-playing, long-playing records.
And how's the following? How's the ticket sales?
Well,
great. Yeah, we play all over the world. And that's the trippiest part of being in this band is that before being in a band, I'd never left the country. I'd never really left Oregon.
Yeah.
And so this band has been a vehicle for worldwide travel.
Yeah, we have a band-wide policy that we say yes to almost any show that we get offered, which means that we will play in some genuinely weird places.
Like where?
Like, we just finished a tour of Asia. We played in Thailand and Bali. We've played...
But like the venues are weird or just the countries?
Yeah, venues are weird. We've played on boats. Jonna played in someone's bathroom one time.
That's true.
We
Why?
played.
What did you have to do that for?
This was in 2005. I'd never been to St. Louis, wanted to go. Some kids on MySpace were like, please come play this show. And it was in their grandmother's rec room basement. They're like, why don't you do the show in the bathroom? And I was like, okay.
What, you didn't feel like they were sort of taking you for a ride a little bit?
No. They were like kids. They were so genuine and just wanted like a weird experience. I don't know, like 20, 25. Yeah.
The following has increased since then.
Yeah. We've played literally every kind of show imaginable.
But if you give us a much bigger bathroom, I'm sure we can make it work.
We've played festivals with thousands and thousands of people. We toured with LCD twice in Europe and in the U.S.
And that's like that. This type of music specifically. I mean, I guess all music is sort of global, but there's something about music that is danceable that seems to travel a little better than almost any other kind of music.
Yeah, it's the keys to the castle, I think. Like the success of some of those early records was completely and purely just human driven, person to person, and everyone seems to have a story about how they found that music. Now I think it's a lot different. I think things move much more quickly, and there's kind of I don't know, people are more blasé about things that come out. I think that it was like genuinely transformative at a time before that kind of thing would be immediately turned into a product and then forgotten about.
Well, yeah, everything becomes very disposable with the hunger for content created by the internet.
Yes.
Yeah. Music has no value anymore.
Well, yeah, you put a song out and the next day people are like, what's next?
Yep.
You got a new one today?
Yeah.
Where's our daily song?
Literally, that's how it works.
I know, it's
legitimately
horrendous.
Insane.
Yeah. You can't, I mean, I talk about that a lot, that there's no way as human beings you can creatively feed the appetite that the internet creates in people.
Yeah, it's like an endless well that you just put stuff in that
with
never
no
goes
context at all. All right, so let's talk about the song we did.
Yeah.
Let me. I should preface it by saying I was asked to play guitar on the latest Yacht single.
Yeah.
And that was the first request I've ever had to professionally play guitar. I thank you for that. I don't know what made you think of me.
What about that Postal Service video?
That was a joke, though.
Yeah, but it was a really professional request.
Is that where you found me as a guitar player?
That's that's the first time I heard you, yeah.
And you're like, this guy can do something?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
See, there you go. It's everything you do is worth something, you know?
Well, because, but that was, they were auditioning guitar players, and I just riffed it.
Yeah.
So it was the thing I did before the computer music that made you think that guy can play on a record?
I was surprised. I was like, whoa, he can actually play guitar.
Here I thought like he had some big plans. Like, if we get him on, then he'll move the single.
No, man, you can shred. We saw you shred.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
Hey.
That's why I'm thrilled about it, because now I feel like you've given me this opportunity to fulfill a dream.
Oh.
I played guitar on a record.
Well, I'm sure more people will ask you now.
You played guitar on an MP3.
That's all right. It's an MP3 that people respect as a produced piece of music. That they
on
play
a file.
I'm just joking.
They played it on the radio.
Yeah.
They played it on KCRW. They play it on Sirius now already, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
satellite radio. It's gone to space and come back to Earth.
That is crazy. Your guitar has gone to space.
So what are people saying about the song?
They like it. People like it.
Did it get out there in a big way?
I think so. Yeah. It's always so hard to tell. Howling Maw, empty well with no context, as you said before. But I think that it's doing really well.
But isn't the file being shared from one place, or do you have no way?
The file, I can tell you that the file has been played many times.
We can look right now.
You don't have to. I'm just curious as if people were digging it. It went out there.
People are digging it. The file is blowing up. The streaming file is blowing up. We're getting a lot of downloads. We're selling it for charity, and we're raising some of the money for charity, which is great.
Now, are people actually
100% of the money, not just some of the money?
Right, but people can just have it though. So
they can't just have it. They can listen to it. They can stream it for free, but they can't just have it. If they want it, they got to trade a donation.
So are you making some money? For the EFF?
Yep.
We're
trying.
What made you write the song? The what is it called again? Party at the NSA?
Party at the NSA.
Yeah.
And what was what drove you to it? Was there a moment where like, fuck those guys?
Yeah, absolutely. The classic punk impulse. We wanted to fight the man. We felt galvanized by just kind of like the critical mass of information coming out now about
how every day there's another new fucked up thing that they're doing, and it's a new level of fucked up every day.
Yeah, it's always worse than it seems. And I don't know, John and I are both like on the internet a lot. I'm a science and technology journalist. In addition to playing in this band, so I'm like, I hang in circles where people are constantly talking about this stuff. So I feel like for me, it feels like everyone around me is talking about this, and everyone is concerned with it, which is probably true for everyone, not just me.
Yeah.
And we're like completely self-starting internet people. Like our entire careers are essentially predicated on the fact that we have access to this free and open medium of communication with our fans. And it's not as though NSA surveillance is creating a direct boundary to that, but it just kind of like makes it gross.
It's kind of a buzzkill.
It's a buzzkill.
There's somebody lurking.
Yeah, exactly. What I've been saying is that nobody wants to dance when there's cops in the club. You know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the attitude. We were like, this is reaching a point at which, as people who have like historically affiliated ourselves with digital rights and internet freedoms, we can't not do something about this, because this is something that really affects us and that we think about a lot. So we just made it. I mean, we're musicians, so the natural gesture is to make a song, and we both came up in punk scenes and DIY scenes, so that's kind of our form of protest.
And what would you call the style of this song? Because it has sort of a retro feel. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I don't know. People always ask us what genre things are that we make,
and we let them do that. We let them decide.
Well, there definitely seems.
What do you want
to
to call it?
Well, no. I mean, there's a familiarity to the feeling of the type of dance music it is, and it's not like, it doesn't feel like techno to me, but it actually feels like kind of punk disco music.
Yeah,
or new wave disco. Would you go?
I think the category that we chose on SoundCloud, because we had to choose a category, was new wave.
I think I put in
new wave is right. I mean, I think that sounds right.
I think new wave is pretty broad and allows you a lot of freedoms.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's also, but like at this point, that stuff it's not so much that it's coming back, but as an influence for younger artists, it's like, it's okay to go there. I mean, there was a point where I think somewhere, I remember in my life where it was like new wave, fuck new wave.
Sure.
But now, like, it's like, well, but it was kind of cool. I mean, these people use keyboards and things.
It's so funny looking back on some of that stuff, because it's like, people said that about disco too, and I think disco is one of the most subversive and interesting forms of music.
Actually. Do you really?
Yeah,
oh,
totally.
Yes.
It was like a radical place where a lot of people of color and homosexuals could be together and create like a subversive underground culture.
I do.
And all the rock and rollers were like, fuck disco at the time, but it was an amazing thing. Really powerful.
I remember when it happened. I remember when disco happened.
Yeah.
I caught, because I'm like 49, so it was just ending by the time I got to high school in 77. So it was just sort of like petering out, and that's when new wave came in and punk started to sort of infiltrate the high school campus. But it was weird because, by the time I got there, it was like, but I remember AM radio in junior high was all that shit.
Wow. Yeah. It must have seemed dumb. I mean, it definitely looks dumb.
It didn't seem that dumb. There was something, it was definitely not happening where I was. And then there was a suburban version of disco.
Yeah.
Where you'd know, like, your parents or their friends would be out taking disco classes. And there was that
Just like there's a suburban version of everything.
Yeah.
Of punk, of everything, yeah.
But now, like, I'll listen, like, I have guilty pleasures. Like, I'll listen to, Don't Leave Me This Way, or I Will Survive.
But there's a lot of crossover between like early, like funk and early disco. I mean, like Chic and that kind of music. There's a lot going on. It's a lot more intellectual than I think people really ever gave it credit for. Although, of course, there was so much dumb disco. And now, of course, since I'm much younger than you, I look at disco videos on YouTube and I'm like, I can tell that it was probably really stupid too.
What do you mean?
Like, you look at like kitsch YouTube videos of crazy Top of the Pops from like 1971.
But some of it looks so amazing.
And some of it looks
good.
so amazing too.
Well, I think it was hard to overcome certain outfits.
Sure.
And certain mustaches. Yeah. Like, I mean, a lot of that stuff's coming back around, but definitely...
Everything comes back around.
Right, but it has a meaning now. Yeah. Like, he's doing that 70s porn thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nothing is without reference now.
So you just chose the EFF to give money to randomly? Because I love those guys.
Not randomly. I mean, we wanted to do something constructive that was going to be practical form of protest against NSA surveillance, and the EFF litigates in court against the government.
Do.
Yeah, they have like 3 cases right now, active cases that are specifically concerning corporate involvement in government NSA spying.
Yeah.
So it seemed pragmatic, you know?
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah, Julie Samuels over there, she's a warrior. They're good.
They're good. They fight hard. They've been around for a long time. They're legit.
All right, so let's, we're going to listen to the song, and I just want to preface this by saying, get ready to dance. No matter where you are, and
play it loud.
Yeah, play it loud in your car. And after the second verse, that's where my searing guitar work comes in.
You'll know it when you hear it.
Yeah, you definitely will.
I lost my signal yesterday, but it was never
So I don't I know that song is great, and I have to say that my guitar work sounds good, and I've listened to it over and over again. And if I could, and I could, but I'm not going to, I would probably just play that part over and over again. Does that make me a bad person? I don't have it's not
No, of course not.
Not at all.
Everyone likes.
I'll send you a loop of that if you wanted, if you just want this soloed guitar track.
If you just wanted as pump up music in the morning or
if
something.
If you want a ringtone of that guitar solo, we can make that happen.
Oh my God, we should make a ringtone.
Yeah.
Well, again, I appreciate you having me on board for this. I like your music. I think you did a good thing for a good cause. And where can people get involved with the yacht religion?
Well, you can go to teamyacht.com if you want to get involved directly with the yacht religion. If you want to hear Party at the NSA again and again, you can go to partyatthensa.com and download the song in exchange for a charitable download.
And helping the cause. People who listen to my show have given to that cause before, and we're on board with it because they're fighting patent trolls as well.
Word.
Thank you, Claire.
There's no reason not to give money to the EFF.
There you go. Jonna, right?
Yeah, you did it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming down, you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
That was nice talking to Yacht, but now I want to talk to you about how are you doing? How are you doing sexually? Are you feeling good? Is everything working? Is everything in working order? Do you need some amplification for your sexual hobbying? Do you need to improvise a little more? Do you need to accentuate your sexual riffing? Well, I can get you 50% off almost any item at adamandeve.com, and that'll come with a free bonus gift, 3 free DVDs, free shipping at adamandeve.com. All you got to do is enter the WTF at the checkout. That's the little, those are the magic words to open the doors to a whole world of possibilities and ways to open your doors and put things into them. Or if you want to work more within the doors that you open, this will give you an entree into doing that, but also adding things to the experience. Things you can, clip on, wear, protect yourself, because you may want to just enter the doors, but you may not want any little guys coming out of the doors. Right? Is it Metaphor Day? I think it is. I'm very excited to share my conversation with Tom Segura right now. He's a very sweet guy, a very funny guy, married to a very funny woman. How does one handle that? All right, let's talk to Tom Segura. Tom Segura. So, that was the intro. That was all of it.
That was the whole thing? Man, that was in depth.
Yeah, just
like to build excitement.
Well, all right, let's build some excitement. How would you? What's your podcast? Was it your mama's house? Something like that.
Your mom's house. Yeah. Yes. But I like mama more. More fun. Your mama's house feels like you're insulting me, and it's not just fun in a fun way. Like, hey, what's your fucking stupid thing called, by the way? Your mama's house, asshole.
No,
I know, but it's funnier to me.
No, I mean it's good. We're doing the podcast.
I know, it's fun, man. It's fun. It is called Your Mom's House.
Yeah,
it's very silly. So it's appropriate that we mock it.
No, I mean, what are you going to name these things? I mean,
we named it that because literally we wanted to we named it something stupid on purpose.
Uh-huh.
Like it was so that somebody would be like, "What the fuck is it called?" Like that's why we named it that. Not because it's like a serious, like current events, news breaking shit.
Right.
We're talking about flossing and taking dumps. Like we're not talking about.
And you do it with Christina. I always fuck up her last name.
Pashitsky. Yes.
Pashitsky.
Who's my wife. Yes.
Who's your wife? Yeah. Who I love, and I had her on the live podcast. And you do it at your home.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And you said you drove all the way from Redondo today?
That's right. Yeah.
And how long did that take?
It didn't take that long. It took right about 50.
So you come up the 405, go all the way down the 10?
I took the 110. I got the speed pass, the new speed pass.
You did?
Yeah. That kind of changes your life.
I'd never see where they monitor those things. Usually with speed passes, there's a something you drive through.
It's all like
it's like
frequencies,
eye in the sky shit.
And then you don't even like every few miles you'll in your car you hear like beep.
Really?
You're like, oh shit, this is being monitored. And I saw an article came out last week that said because it's only been up for a little while.
Right.
They're like, we've already sent out like I don't know. $25,000 in tickets because they're just automatically sending tickets out with the system
to people that don't have a speed pass.
If you don't have a speed pass and you're in that lane, apparently it just if the beep doesn't go off and you don't have it, it just reads your plate and you get a ticket at the door.
See, like they're that's one of those things where it's like you as a speed pass owner, like it's the shit, but on some level that's some scary bullshit.
It's totally scary.
Can't see anything.
But I'm all about giving in to the man, dude. Absolutely.
Big Brother is there to help us. Wake up, America!
Come on, guys.
Come on,
dude. It is crazy when you hit the standstill traffic.
Yeah.
And you're driving alone. It used to be you're like, I wish there's someone else in the fucking car.
So you could get in the
and now you can be
carpool
alone
lane
and just
fucking nail
through
those lanes. Those aren't carpool lanes anymore.
No.
Now, apparently gas is not an issue.
Right.
You fuck you and your friends or whoever you're driving to work.
Absolutely.
Pay up. How much does something like that cost?
I think the first thing we loaded it up with was $40, and then it just it goes down they charge you like per mile depending on if you're single occupant, double or triple.
Yeah.
And then it's like a per mile, I don't know, 60, 80.
But it's not big. Not a lot.
It's the kind that if you were sitting in traffic and someone was like, hey, if you gave me $10 to get out of this, would you get out? I'd be like, fuck yeah, man, I will.
Now.
Something like that, yeah.
A hover car.
And then it reboots when it goes down, yeah.
Well, I think if you live out there on the west side, that's a good way to go. Because you got to, you got to come in. You got to travel out to the Rogan bunker, wherever that is. Where's the Rogan compound?
The compound, man.
Yeah, where is that thing?
That's Area 51. We can't even talk about that. Are you kidding me? It's a whole government conspiracy.
He's got the aliens in the jars?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God. Joe Rogan would be so excited if someone gave him an alien in a jar.
Joe would absolutely lose his goddamn mind. He would love that shit.
Oh, God. That would be the best thing that could happen if aliens landed at Joe Rogan's place and just straightened him out. What the hell would he do?
He would do a podcast for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He would be so excited to meet some aliens.
Oh, man. He might have already. That's the weird thing. Yeah.
I wonder if they fought.
Yeah. What do you got?
Who would win?
He's got an alien in a chokehold. So, Redondo Beach, are you looking at water?
I am not looking at water, but I'm about 8-minute walk from the water.
And why'd you decide, I don't know why we're talking about this, because I'm kind of looking for a house, but I mean.
I'll tell you why. I've lived in L.A. This is 11 years I've been out here.
You've been here 11 years?
Yeah.
It's weird. I didn't really know you. Isn't that weird?
I've been really making a name for myself.
No, I mean, there was that moment at the Comedy Store where I started hearing your name, Tom Segura, he's really funny. And then the first time I saw you, I didn't know what to do with you exactly. I was trying to, I saw you that's him. And then cause he had some reputation and I was trying to package you somehow. It's like, what kind of dude is he? Is he like a fucking, I'm gonna kick your ass dude? Or is he a sweet dude? Or is he what kind of comic is he? What camp is he in? I was trying to fucking get a make on you.
Well, which is it? What am I?
You're a nice guy. Oh, you're a thoughtful comic who has a respect for jokes.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
And you got balls. You know what I mean? You seem to be sort of in the kind of that nice hybrid between a guy who can be autobiographical and a tellish. Is that a compliment?
Sure, yeah, of course.
Is that a bad thing?
I'll take that. Definitely, man.
You've got the joke skills of a tell, but the ability to talk about your life in a candid way.
Look at this. This is a sweet Maron I love. Do you know, actually, I was thinking about this on the way over here. Do you know, you don't know the first time we met. I remember, but you wouldn't remember.
I think you brought it up to me once before.
Did I?
I don't know. Was it at the Chicago Comedy Festival?
No, I met you at Melrose years ago.
Uh-huh.
When I say years, I mean probably 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
And it happened to be when websites started to get good from comics.
Yeah.
And yours, it was just one of those where I was checking out people's web, and yours at the time was, I thought it was phenomenal because you had interactive shit. You had
the napkins.
The napkins.
Right.
And also, you had the story of, I think, meeting Lorne.
Yeah.
Did you write it out? Was it written on the...
It was written on there. I put that in the new book.
I read the story and, cried laughing. And then I saw you, and I was kind of, intimidated to say something to you. Because I was, emceeing at Melrose, I think. So I saw you in the little hallway.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, what's up? I was like, I read that thing about... Lauren is really funny. Yeah. And you were very nice.
Yeah, oh, good.
And I just was just telling you how much but to me, I was it was putting also, in perspective for me, even you can even make your website funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're like,
Yeah.
So like, because at the time we were like, just get a fucking headshot up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're done.
And some dates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your headshot up, a short bio,
Yeah.
a place where they can email you, and
And a
fucking call
totally
it a day.
made up bio, by the way.
Oh, yeah, those
he
are the-
leaves audiences roaring in the aisle or whatever.
I look at bios that are my bios, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
I saw your the early headshots thing was great. You put up.
Oh, you do? Yeah, you favorited that thing.
phenomenal.
It's right there. That's fucking.
That is tremendous, man. This
What
shit.
was I thinking? I was trying, but I know in my mind it's like, this isn't goofy. This
Yeah.
is legit. This has meaning, like, levels. Like there was no like, I'm a clown guy. Like, I
Yeah.
thought that was an earnest thing that I was doing.
If I was in a club working this week and I saw that and didn't know that was you, I definitely would have taken that picture and been like, look at this motherfucker. I
80s.
definitely would have done that.
That was actually, it was the late 80s, man. Where'd you start?
Out here.
You did?
Yeah.
And
I didn't do it intentionally. So I always tell people, like, don't, like...
But you came out here for what reason then?
I came out here, I knew I wanted to, like, do...
Something?
perform. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to do comedy. And my real thought was, like, what I should do, a good plan of action is...
It's good when you have those.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're doing.
I was like, there's this place, I read that, like, people from the Groundlings would get into, like, TV and movies. I was like, that'll probably be me. I'll just do that. So...
Where were you? Where'd you grow up?
I moved around a lot, but at the time, I was working for America's Most Wanted in D.C.
Yeah.
And I was like I go to research crimes and like fugitives, and then pitch them to the guy and like the editor in charge. And
Yeah. How would that go? Like, all right, this guy is great. He's great.
It's horrible.
There's 3 women they know he killed.
They know, and he skipped bail in Costa Rica, which it's like $11, but he did skip it out. And
So he's traveling. He's moving around.
they're not even pursuing him. Let's put him on the show. And they were like, how bad are his crimes? He's fucking raping and cutting people up. It's really good. It's good stuff.
And then someone would go, I don't
I
know.
don't know. It's kind of boring. Really? So
Well, wait, how did we get from there though? Like, let's go back. So, okay, so you grew up in a lot of places. What does that mean? Your mother was running from something, or you?
Fugitives. They were on America's Most Wanted. That's how I
they
got
were
on
your
the
first
show.
thing. Yeah, that's how you got the job. I'm willing to turn in my parents.
Yeah.
Can I
Really.
intern here?
And they're like, all right, if it's free,
This kid means it. He wants in.
you could do it. No, my mom's from Peru. She's Peruvian.
Really?
Huh. And
It's weird. You don't look.
my sisters look darker.
Oh, yeah?
They don't look like
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
I mean, whatever you're into.
Yeah, sure,
but
man.
they have dark eyes.
Peruvian.
Yeah, and they have dark hair and they get like if they go in the sun they get tan.
Yeah.
and if I go in the sun I get pink.
Yeah.
kind of shit. So it kind of
And your dad was
he's white American from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, Louisville, Kentucky.
Super white guy.
Well, it's interesting because Louis C.K. is Mexican. Half, half really Mexican.
Yeah.
And he's like as pale as he can be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Not that I'm drawing a conclusion. I'm sure people listening will be like, "Oh, here he goes with his kind of racial packaging." Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know what that means.
Yes, I feel a very.
I'm not trying to come down on you.
No,
man.
no.
I think it's exciting that you have Latino blood
I
coursing
do.
through your brains.
I do.
And your veins.
I do, and I speak fluent Spanish.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, my mom spoke Spanish at home. Like that's her. She didn't speak English till she was like.
So you got
33.
that? You got that in the quiver? You can
It's
just
in the
pull it
brain.
out.
It's in the
Yeah,
canal.
and that helps here because
It helps in restaurants.
Is it
It helps with valets.
But people are surprised.
Oh, definitely.
I love when people all of a sudden pull the Spanish out.
You
You're
know
like, what the fuck just came out of your face?
You feel like you're pandering, and
Yeah.
you kind of are, but it's kind of like the enjoyable kind. Where
Yeah.
You get to soak it in. Where like if I do like Miami,
Yeah.
and I'll be 25 minutes into
A set?
a setup
Yeah.
there, and they're going along, and then somebody yells something like "Ay man," and they do like some crazy accent, like heavy, like this guy's from Colombia.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And then I pop back at him, and then the whole audience just goes like, "What the fuck?" You know?
Pop back at him in Spanish.
Right, like they'll be like, "What do you know about that?" Like, mira, si te digo algo es porque yo sé de lo que hablo. Así cállate, y si no quieres, o si quieres, yo te digo que me lo chupas, y si no me lo chupas, yo boto leche en tu boca. And they're like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like, I don't even know what I just said, but
That's great.
I just like I'll just run through shit.
Yeah,
or,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Oh,
or
that's
they'll be
great.
just surprised. It's because I look like this.
And then you win, man.
You totally win. Yeah, and it's cheap and easy. I was like, I know I'm not like.
It's not cheap and easy. It's like this weird, like, on some level, everybody should know fucking Spanish.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a thing that, you know what, you think it's like easy,
Right.
but I guarantee you that some sort of, upper middle class parents who are raising their kids, it's like, see, that's what we need. Yeah, that's why he needs to be able to speak both languages
Sure.
in the world we live in.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going for Chinese. I mean,
Yeah.
they're hedging their bets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they're assuming that, okay, the Latinos will still be people we need, but the Chinese are going to own us.
Yeah.
So we might be able to.
My sister's one of those. Definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My sister speaks Spanish. She learned Chinese a couple of years ago in the Navy, and then she got out of the Navy, and now she has a 1-year-old, and she's paying somebody to talk to him in Chinese at 1.
Really?
Yeah, she's
She won't do it herself?
She does, but she wants the native speaker to say it.
But and the kid's also learning Spanish?
Well, yeah, she talks to him in Spanish all the time.
That kid's going to be something else.
Yeah.
English is going to be difficult.
Right now, he's just
He's one.
he's drinking out of the dog bowl. Every time I see a photo of him, she's like, he loves the dog bowl. I was like, how's the Chinese going? Is that fucking moving along?
And also, you might want to discourage him from the dog bowl, at some point. This is the 10th picture you've sent of him, the dog bowl. I know
I see
it's
a lot
cute,
of eating leaves and drinking out of the dog bowl. So I don't know where that's going.
but he'll be bilingual. That's what's important.
He's going to get one of them down. Let's give him that.
He's already got the dog bowl down.
Yeah.
Might want to pull him out of there. So, all right. So where'd you grow up originally?
All right,
In the
Cincinnati.
South?
Cincinnati was
Cincinnati.
weird.
What is going on there?
I love that. Just saying it like, what the fuck is up with that place, man?
I've been there twice. I got no pulse on it, man. It's just
I've said this many times. I feel like if you lived in a place that you never drove in, you don't know shit about that
right.
place.
That's true. That's true.
So like as a kid, I lived in Cincinnati, then Minneapolis, then Milwaukee, and none of the three I ever drove in.
Yeah.
And I could tell you about the school I went to, our house, and a friend's house.
Yeah, and spaghetti with chili on it.
And people are like, Mason Street? I'm like, no, man, I don't. Like, I don't know anything. I was 11.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing. I went to the movies once.
Yeah. I mean, I remember this one mall. Is that mall still there?
Yeah,
and
that's
they're
it.
like,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
mall sucks. And I'm like, well, that's where I went.
Yeah, it was cool when I was younger. It was the place when you were
That
11.
was Disneyland when I was a kid.
It's funny about malls. Like, that was amazing. We used to take a bus to go to a shitty mall.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Malls were like,
Oh, you needed them.
oh my God. And when they built a new mall, it didn't matter. Like, now you go in as an adult, you see the level of store that's in there. You're like, this place sucks.
Yeah.
Because they have a certain.
Yeah.
And then
a Chess
certain-
King.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the gift place? With the black light posters in the back. Spencer's Gifts.
Spencer's. Yeah, absolutely. The Spencer's means there's no
Good
fucking
shit.
Louis Vuitton there,
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Means there's not much there you need.
Yeah.
You're pretty sure there's going to be Old Navy. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, no Louis Vuitton.
And if there is a Louis Vuitton, you're like, this place is full of assholes. Like, this is,
yeah, that's a whole different thing. This isn't a real mall.
Yeah.
This is a joke. This is like, this is not for regular people, this mall.
absolutely. So
You don't remember Cincinnati.
I don't remember it. I go back every year.
To play crack.
Go Bananas.
That's a good room.
I love Go Bananas. Yeah, I've done the Newport one too, but I like Go Bananas the most. I know a lot of some of the UC crowd, the University of Cincinnati kids. It's a good school. There's people in that.
Right.
What is it, Clifton section? That's like fun, but like I don't know, man. I don't know a lot
The
about
college
it.
section?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, it's weird as you get older. It's like, there's a really good part of town where I know exactly what that part of town is. I know exactly what's there.
Yeah.
And I know how it
I
all
know what
breaks
kind
down.
of stores are there, and the diner. I know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I lived there. Then I moved to Minneapolis 2 years.
That's a good place, but still no real recollection.
No
of it.
real recollection. I did Acme a couple weeks ago.
Great
And
place.
the kid who lived across the street from me when I was 11, who I haven't seen since I left there when I was, I left when I was 11. So I haven't seen him since I was 11, came to my show at Acme.
He surprised you?
No, he was on Facebook. We were going, but like we used to spend, when you're that age, you spend every single
man.
day.
Building forts and shit?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
So Dan
Important
Cody.
stuff.
Yeah.
Dan Cody came down.
Dan Cody came to the show.
Were you able to reminisce about being 11?
We both reminisced about how we used to masturbate with the other one in the room and didn't think the other one was aware of it. Because that was like big. It was a lot of sleepover nights.
Sure, man.
And we used to watch scrambled porn, like Spice Channel.
At 11?
And and like trying to like see it when it wasn't coming in.
Yeah, but he's, it's a boob!
Yeah, and he was like, I don't know if you knew, but in those sleeping bags,
Yeah.
I used to be like kind of jerking off, and I was like, I was humping the floor.
Yeah.
And like, just rubbing it out that way.
Oh, that's sweet.
And
It's a sweet moment.
We connected on that.
Yeah.
It was real sweet.
And that's 11. I guess that's about the time that you first start doing it. You're not sure why you're doing it, but you do it. I think that's where I first started doing it.
11?
Jerking off. Yeah, 11.
I was younger.
Really?
Yeah. It was
Consciously, like there's some titties.
No. I
just sort of like, this
I kind of
feels good.
discovered this feels
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember telling other people, like friends and cousins,
you
and
guys
they're like,
onto the...
they're like, what are you talking about, man? And I was like, you don't pinch your foreskin and kind of twirl it around? Like, no.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You're ahead of the game,
I was like,
man.
do you get that feeling that you shake?
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
I had my thing was like I somehow accidentally stuck my dick into bath water coming out of the faucet, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
So there was a good period of time where I was just sitting there,
Sure.
with the water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was fucking ace.
It's just, oh man.
I talk about this on stage now too. Do you remember, like, since you came to it before you actually knew what it was? Do you remember the first time you saw how fucking worked, like in a picture, or like that?
I saw what I thought I had seen porn.
Yeah.
Because I had,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize I was seeing like, not quite softcore, but kind of softcore.
Yeah.
And then I remember my cousin in Peru gave me a tape. He was like, "What is porn?" I'm like, "I've seen it."
Yeah,
and
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, "You haven't seen this shit."
Yeah.
And what it was just hardcore.
Yeah.
But I had never
How old
seen
were you?
13.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And I'm going to jerk off all goddamn day.
Yeah,
to this.
it's over, man.
It's over.
For the rest of your life. I mean, you probably jerk off to those images from that movie till like you're 17.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's still in there.
And those jerks were so good. I'm still chasing that dragon,
yeah,
dude.
that's
Those
it.
are the best ones.
The first time you see how it really works, you're like, it's never going to happen again.
It's amazing.
the best thing ever.
It's amazing.
And like you know you don't even, and sometimes when you do it like even now where you're like, look, this looks just like that original picture I saw.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
No, no.
It's not
Those
the
images
same.
never leave your head.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
All right, Madison, then
Minneapolis, and then Milwaukee.
again, I don't know what's going on there. I know kind of what's going on in Minneapolis.
That, by the way, that not that you would know this already, but I love that fucking club, man.
Yeah, there's something about it. It's Magic Club.
Magic Club.
Yeah, it is. And he just let me start working there again. Yeah, I was on like a 12-year hiatus.
Really?
Or like 6 or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
It's a Magic Club.
I killed it there the last time. I was fucking thrilled.
It's so great. It's so great.
I don't know what they're low ceilings. It's cozy,
But it's everything.
Yeah,
It's all like.
yeah.
You know that, like, I was like, so why don't you guys do a check drop? And they're like, we do a check drop. And I'm like, how do I not notice it? And they're like, oh, because we train the staff to kind of pick up on their tables, like practices.
Yeah.
So that, like, if a guy's nursing a beer and he's 30 minutes in still on that beer, they'll just drop the check 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really smart. Like, and they're like, yeah, I know. And I was like, well, why doesn't everybody do that? And they're like, I don't know, because everyone's fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so they're just giving it according to what the, like, and I'm like, so you train them to do that. And
to
they're
be
like,
sensitive to the customer that they're dealing with.
Right.
As opposed to just dumping it all at once. And so you can feel the entire room drop out in the middle of a setup
Oh, yeah.
of usually one of your last jokes.
Like somebody opened a gate.
Yeah.
And then they're like, drop him! And you're like, holy shit.
It's always right around the closing area, like where you're building up to shit.
Oh, of course.
And like, you hit that one, one stride and it's nothing.
Nothing.
What happened? Like, and then you just see a room full of people looking down.
And talking about it.
Yeah. It's fucking.
What'd you get?
Yeah.
Did you get these? I didn't even have a bite of these, man. And you're like, come on, man.
How much do I owe?
Yeah.
How much do I owe? So, all right. So Milwaukee, I got to go there. Any recollection of that?
That was I started to get, a recollection, but I still wasn't driving. It was like freshman year of high school is when we moved to Florida from there.
And your parents are together the whole time?
Whole time, yeah.
Still?
Mm-hmm.
How do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so,
It's amazing.
yeah.
What's your dad do?
He works in finance.
Oh, so he's a finance guy.
Yeah.
It's vague.
Yeah, I mean, investment advisor.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he helping you out?
Not really. You know what I realize is, like, my money is so petty.
Yeah. Oh,
like, he
yeah,
would
yeah.
never entertain
Yeah.
a client like me.
Yeah, I've got $6,000.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
And-
can we make this into a lot of money?
Oh my God. Like, it's so, like, to the point where I have to, like, I'll yell at, like, at a secretary, like, are you going to help me out? Yeah. Like, cause he won't. He will, but he's like, yeah, buddy, you just need to save.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that the investment advice you're giving me? He's like, yeah.
You got to save.
Save. You should just work on saving. And I'm like, this is what you tell your other clients? Well, my other clients have other needs, buddy.
Yeah, they have money. Yeah, my other clients.
Much more than you have. Like, cool, Dad. Yeah, he would never take me on as a client. And then I used to, for a while, I was like talking to my friends who didn't have retirement accounts and stuff. And I was like, dude, you should just set it up. I'll hook you up with my dad. Yeah. So I'd call my dad. Hey, as a favor, will you let, Charlie start an account? And he'd be like, okay. And then after a while, he was like, do you think you could stop sending me poor people to work with? It's like, yeah, sure. I didn't realize I was like just bothering him by doing that. I thought
he's doing you a favor. Yeah. And the guy's calling up to say, "Can I take that $700 out of my IRA?"
You got it, man. Do whatever you need with that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So he still does that. He was always working with the same company and moving around. And then we ended up in Florida in Vero Beach.
See, now for some reason, I somehow you strike me as someone who was that Florida left an impression on you.
It was jarring.
Yeah, I mean, so you were already like in your mid-teens by the time you got there.
I moved there in the middle of my freshman year of high school.
Yeah,
at 14, and that definitely.
Did you go through high school in Florida?
I finished. Yeah,
that's a fucking defining thing.
It definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? The first? Because I don't know what the fuck is going on down there, dude.
Dude, Florida is a trip. Like it's so.
What part?
I was in Vero. I was 2.5 hours north of Miami.
Yeah.
On the East Coast.
So that's moving towards rednecky.
Well, if you go inland a mile,
right?
Like
you're in Appalachia.
Like I had friends in my high school who came to school in a truck with super swampers on it. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
What
man?
is a super swamper?
They had like 4-foot tires.
Oh yeah.
4 feet tall.
Sure, the big things. Yeah.
And then they're like, dude, let's go hunting. I was like, I don't even know what that is. What are we gonna hunt? Just gonna shoot hogs, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get with it, man. Like, all right.
So those tires actually serve a purpose?
Yeah.
So you can drive in garbage.
You would drive through, in, and around garbage, and then you would jump off of that and jump into their hunting buggy, which was a modified school bus that they had sliced in half, so it was all open top, so you could shoot from any angle without anything obstructing your view, and that had crazy super swampers, and we would just drive over trees in this thing, and then they'd be like, "There's a hog!" and bam, like just. And I was like, this is horrifying. Like, this is bad. And I remember...
To be in a cut-up school bus shooting pigs?
Shooting pigs. And then I remember I didn't know shit about hunting. Yeah. And this guy took me out hunting one time. And I was like, so what do we do? He's like, well, they're going to feed. This is their feed stand. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, like we drop feed in here.
Yeah.
So we know they're going to come here. I'm like, so we're going to shoot them at the place that you feed them at? Like, that's not hunting, is it? And they're like, yeah, that's hunting. I was like, that doesn't sound like hunting.
That's cheating.
Yeah, man. Like, you're feeding them, and then while they're eating, we're just going to shoot them in the head? He's like,
they were like, yeah.
Yeah, it's part of hunting, man. So I was like, all right. One of them, I know a guy who went coon hunting, which I didn't know. I never went on this, but he told me about it. He's like, this is so much fucking fun. What you do is we go out to, like, there's a lot of citrus groves, right?
Yeah.
And raccoons, some people don't know that raccoons are fucking crazy, vicious.
Oh yeah,
they'll fuck with you.
Yeah, no, they don't take any shit. They will stand you down.
When I started dating Christina, she was in Pasadena, and she was like, at night these adorable raccoons come up here, and I'll pet them. And I'm like, you'll pet them? Did she? Like, she said she did, and she was like, I was like, dude, that thing will tear your fucking face off.
I can't believe she touched a wild raccoon.
I think she's
making that up.
I don't know, man. She really. I was.
All I know is when they come up here to eat the cat food, I don't even try to scare them away, because you'll open the door and they'll just be like, "What is there a problem here?" Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they got those monkey hands, and it's just fucking bizarre.
Yeah, man. It's a bizarre animal. But this kid told me that he would. He's like, go out to the groves, and what we do is we'll shine a light. On like a row between the groves, and then the raccoons will freeze in the light. Yeah. And you see the eyes reflect. Yeah. And then we just light them up with an AR-15. And I was like, that's the
That's the sport?
The hunt.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, do you eat that? And they're like, hell no, you don't eat that. I'm like, so you just shooting shit. Yeah.
What's an AR-14?
AR-15?
15, yeah.
It's a semi-automatic assault rifle, like something you don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Marines have it.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And they all got them.
I knew a few people that had them,
Yeah.
I knew one of the guys actually that was part of, whose dad was part of the design of that gun.
Yeah.
He developed the gun.
So this was, you're not a hunter guy, so you're just bouncing along. And,
Yeah, I mean...
What were these hogs? They were wild hogs?
Wild boar, yeah.
Oh, yeah? And
Yeah.
did they eat those?
They would eat those, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, but, I saw them, like, shoot one's leg off.
Yeah.
And then it, like, collapsed.
Yeah.
And that was, like, the mother. And then the little I'm like, this sucks, dude. Like, I don't want to do this.
What, the little pigs were coming?
Well, the little pigs were like, what happened to mom's leg?
Yeah.
And then,
They killed the mom.
they killed the mom. Yeah, and then they ate it and everything, yeah.
But they kill the kids?
No.
Just let them
They
scramble.
went off. Yeah. We'll
So-
wait till they get a little fat on them.
Come back, yeah.
Put a little meat in the freezer.
But
we'll come back.
isn't it that moment of like, I don't know what kind of guy you are, but I'm the kind of guy like, I'd be like, oh God, like, it's just like the heartbreak of it.
I think at that age, because I'm like 15, 16,
Yeah,
I
you
just
can't show
pretended
that.
that
Sure,
I was
sure.
like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We have to do this more.
Look at that animal in pain that's
Yeah.
not dead yet.
You can hear it squealing to its death.
Yeah, it's just
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
But inside you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I was like,
Collapsing.
and then the whole like, the killing,
Not good.
I wasn't into it. No.
But the, driving around with the big tires, not so bad.
That's not so bad. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Um,
What else? Like, what else is going on down there in Florida, man?
there's so much of, it's such a full spectrum of different types that are so close to each other. Cause you'd have like the uber wealthy,
Yeah.
You hear about these homes like, Tiger Woods has his
Yeah.
place in Jupiter and,
Yeah.
and there were those type of people like
Yeah.
CEO types.
Yeah.
Waterfront,
Yeah.
beachfront mansions.
Yeah.
And then you had kind of, upper class, this, that, and then, cross the bridge. There's, there's the fishing people and
Yeah.
beach bum types that you see in movies like the
Yeah.
Florida Key type.
And then
guy.
there's the Cubans
the Cubans,
and the Jews.
Uh-huh.
And then there's those
And
other
they're-
people with the tires.
Yeah, and they're all like you know everybody's section. I guess like a lot of
Sure.
neighborhoody kind of things. You know that like, all right, yeah, this is Jew Haven right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
This is crazy.
That's what it's called on the map. Yeah.
Jew Haven. That's right.
Yeah. Jew Haven, crazy
Yeah.
Cuban land.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then like black neighborhoods that
Yeah.
are unlike neighborhoods.
I like that we're diplomatic on that one.
Yeah.
Crazy Cubans, Jew Haven, and the black neighborhood.
The black neighborhoods, they're good people and they're just trying to get by.
Yeah. But you do get the feeling that if it all came down to, chaos, that, the guys with the big tires really run that state on some level, up north anyways,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
yeah.
there's definitely, there's more south to it than I usually pay attention to.
People, yeah. It is more rednecky than people give it credit
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
And most of the state is, people think of Florida, some people will think of beaches. And they're
Yeah.
just like, oh, like Miami, Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's South Beach?
Yeah.
That is like a 1.5 mile strip.
That's it.
Of the pretty people.
Yeah.
Of the beautiful people.
Yep.
And the Europeans.
Yep.
And the Latinas and then thongs and topless.
Yeah.
That, after that 2 mile stretch,
Just, yeah.
the shit's over,
Yeah,
man.
it's French Canadian tourists.
Yeah, and
Germans.
a lot of guns.
Yeah, and guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to do in South Beach. Like, that's one of those situations where I walk into, I'm like, I've never been in this situation.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fit into this situation. I don't even know the language of the cultural language of what's going on here.
South Beach, as far as going out, I cannot.
Yeah.
That is not
What
for
do you
me.
do? And I performed down there. I did the South Beach Comedy Festival. I'm like, who's going to come see me? Like, which of this array of Euro types is going to come in and go, let's listen to the Jew get angry about things? But, I mean, this guy seems to have problems. Let's make that our evening.
But at the same time, a state with that population does have its surprises, where like you can go and be like, this is going to suck, and then because when you're talking about 14 million people or whatever they have there, you're going to find types that like people that really
a few.
like
I
what
mean,
you
I
get.
just did the improv down there at the casino at the Hard Rock.
You did?
It was not great. Do you do okay down there? I can't. I did okay. I mean, I got through it.
I had never performed with that much energy.
Oh yeah.
I amped my shit up, and I realized it was just to keep their minimum attention.
Minimum attention to keep you at some sort of flow. The only fucking thing about that is you crap out your hour at about 47.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that was the closer.
Yeah.
But we're still here. We're still doing this.
Yeah.
That feeling is horrendous. Well, I should have got off on that.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep plowing through it.
Orlando turned into a better room.
Yeah.
They closed a few years ago and then reopened, and that's a fun room.
I don't work them a lot, and I don't really seek them out because I really, like, until you're a huge draw, the free ticket thing just kills the fucking audience.
I know, but how do you, like, my whole thing is ever since I've been working and getting offers to work on the road, I'm pretty much, I mean, it's changed a little bit now, but I pretty much work all the time.
Yeah.
Just because, to maintain a lifestyle, to have income.
Yeah, and also to keep, in it.
Yeah, of course. Stay in it. And then, but I mean, like, for the necessity of work. Mm-hmm. And I know so many guys who are not huge draws at all.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I go out every once in a while. I'm like, what do you do? They're like, commercials. And I'm like, you bank on, like, you're like, no, I'll get a commercial.
Yeah.
That's what you're going off of? Mm-hmm. All right. Like, I just, I've done commercials, but I don't think, like, that'll probably come.
Yeah, I don't do commercials. And like now, like the last year or so I've had things going on, but I like going out and doing stand up because I feel like I earned it, you know, and I primarily do clubs. When I go out, I like doing independently owned clubs.
Yeah.
And now, we tried the theater thing. There's a couple markets I can do that in and my people come out, but I like going to clubs. It's just that it got to a point where the expectation for me that, you go to these rooms and no matter what you sell, they're going to fucking pay for the shit out of the place.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good that they get their drink money, but to play for a bunch of people that, barely even want to be at a comedy club necessarily,
Sure.
let alone see me.
Oh, I know.
It's just heartbreaking.
It kills me too.
And there's a corporatization to the thing. Like, you're not special to anybody who fucking works at that place unless you're selling a bunch of tickets.
And it's do 6 or 7 shows of this.
Yeah, and they build these rooms that seat 500 fucking people. Yeah. And there's nothing worse than like, oh no, we got it covered. And they close that back curtain.
Yeah.
No, we can make this seat.
Yeah.
Well, not as little as you're doing, but it won't seem empty. Right. It's like, we can make it so it doesn't seem empty. I'm like, great, that's a good thing to hear heading into the week.
By the way, you get 50% off anything you want on that menu, man.
50% off.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. And then,
appreciate that.
But like, there's also the part of me though, and I'm not going to drag you into anything where it's like, what'd they fucking do for me coming up? They throw me like, these off weeks, like I ended up, like I did a week in Schaumburg, Illinois, like that I got on a real short notice. So I'm like, yeah, great. Do the Improv that seats 900, outside of Chicago, wherever the hell it is. And, I get there Saturday night and I drew nobody because no one knew I was going to be there and I didn't really have much of a draw, but nobody really came. And I'm like, what's up? And it's like, Rich Jenny was supposed to do this had he not killed himself.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm doing Jenny, it's just this cursed week, weekend.
That weekend?
Yeah. And I found out the Saturday that's what, when he had canceled it, he was just having problems. But by the time Saturday came, the problems were over.
Right.
Yeah.
No more problems.
No more problems. But I just, like you get to a certain point where it's like, I can sell a few tickets to the people that like me. And, what do I need to give them money for?
Well, I just started embracing that on a very small level.
Yeah.
But that's what we're trying to do now. So, like, even like Christine and I are doing this thing where we found a couple places.
Yep.
Small rooms.
Yep.
And, selling the tickets ourselves. But we know that everybody that comes to the show wants to be there.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So, I think we'll get to, like, we're doing Seattle and Portland in May. And I think, I feel confident that we can get to the 150 range. Which, dude, I would rather do one show to 150 people.
And walk with 80% of the door or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And why not?
Absolutely. Then, like, 6 shows. For less money.
Oh, those in the second or third show Saturday where you just,
man.
But there's still part of me, and I'm sure you have it too, that there's that warrior spirit. It's like, this is part of my job, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to engage.
Absolutely.
And you do, and it can be fun. But, there's part of you, like, as you get better as a comic where you're like, I don't want to, I know I can do that.
Yeah.
But if I had a choice,
of course,
would I want to make a half hour out of that guy who's not going to remember he was at the club?
Right. No, I want to fucking...
I want to do my shit.
Yeah.
But what you can do? It's the business we chose.
It is. We chose the path. And then I had a few months ago, actually, I did this show where the first night, somebody like popped off, like yelled some shit at me.
Yeah.
And so I said something back, and it just happened to be one of those nice, where it worked out great.
Oh, those can be great. Yeah.
Right, where it worked out. So the bouncer at the end of the show, like, 'cause it turned into huge laughs.
Yeah.
He's like, so I was watching you. So you like it when people yell shit out, right? And I was like, hold on a second, man. Like, it's not that I like it.
Yeah.
It's that, like, I know kind of what I'm doing. But I mean, like, you know, I can deal with it because I do this a lot. But I'm not saying, like, please encourage people to yell shit out the whole time.
Or don't monitor the room.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, of course, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows go by.
Yeah.
Like, the 6th show, the feature's on stage, and there is a table just full volume, like having the loudest fucking conversation ever. So I point out, I just point at the table, like, that's a table you should go talk to, man.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
You see how everybody's looking at it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, while the guy's on stage?
It's not part of the show.
Yeah. And he was just like, what's up? And I was like, the table?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I mean, they're just talking. I was like, didn't we talk about this? And he was like, but you like this, right? I'm like, no. First of all, I'm not even up there.
I'm already having a problem.
I have a problem now.
Yeah.
Before I hit the stage.
Do you ever have that thing where, like, and I believe that I can do it, and, you know, I don't care what anybody says. Like, I'm weird. Like, you know, when I'm working a club and they're loading the room in, you know, after they've loaded it in before the show even starts, I'll fucking do a round. Like, I'll just, you know, I don't care if people see me or what, and I'll say, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm just, but, you know, you kind of do that, you know, you stick your face out the door and, like, right over in that area, there's a bad thing happening.
Absolutely. I do it in the walk-in, in the seating. I'm like, is that table 21?
Yeah.
Table 21's a problem.
Yeah.
That guy's a problem right there. And I, you know what? 9 times out of 10.
You're right.
100% right.
Yep.
And the person who you told is like, oh yeah. Yeah, you did say that. And you're like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I saw him drooling on himself on the way in.
Yeah. I saw his friend holding him up.
And then you guys brought him a bucket of beers. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the problem.
There's that, but also there's, like, the vibe where, you know, you can sort of identify, like, a dude who's like, I'm funnier than that guy.
Yeah,
like, you know, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Why are we here? I don't know this guy.
If they come, especially if it's a crew, like if it's a crew of dudes.
Crews of any kind.
Yeah, and there's like 4, and they have like that aggro energy.
Yeah.
Where like.
The aggro energy, they're all wearing the button-up shirts. They're a little, you know, kind of think they're buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, dude. And then one of them's always the first to pop something off, and then his buddies are like, fuck, yeah, Tony knows what he's talking about. And then, so they encourage him.
Yeah.
And then
you're dealing with
that gives them confidence as a group.
Yeah. You can really, like, it's pretty exciting, actually, now that we're talking about it, to sort of engage that. But, like, with somebody like me, you know, I don't know where, you know, even the worst fucking asshole in the room who's popping off, like, if you go too far, the audience will be sympathetic. There's that moment where the audience goes, oh, man, that was uncalled for.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, I'm the bad guy now?
You got to keep the anger in check.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Exactly.
Once the real anger comes out, funny is gone. Yeah. There's no funny left in that. It's got to be.
Has that happened?
100 times. Where, like, I have lost my shit on a number of people. Where afterwards the audience was like, "This dude's insane."
Yeah,
like, I can just see it in their eyes. Like, just laugh because otherwise,
shame on you.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. At first, there's the uncomfortable laughter, and then just that weird sucking silence. Where you could hear the tone in your voice, you could hear it happen, and then when you finish saying whatever you're saying, there's just like, what?
Yeah. I had a table once where it was 4 girls, and they were drunk, and it was towards, and I could just the thing about that people don't recognize is when they do that, and when they like, and you feel like you're kind of being like disrespected or mocked. You don't want to be vulnerable anymore, and that kills a show.
The comedy. That's exactly
kills the show.
That's the whole fucking problem with what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
with performing for papered rooms, or like it's one thing. I don't mind if like people don't know me. I mean, I'm a professional. I can do that. Yeah. But respect the goddamn situation, because like vulnerability. Because I don't want to find myself in the Marc Maron that used to perform 10 years ago. That would just strut the stage and go, "Is there a problem?"
Yeah.
Like I've gotten past that.
Right.
And I'm not, I guess, I don't know, like I can't detach from my material. I can't do it. Mm-hmm. I can't autopilot. because if I autopilot, it's just a tragedy. So if I'm not going to be vulnerable, if I can't open up and be comfortable and like, let's have fun here, then the other thing is just sort of like, oh, you want this? All right, we can do this.
Yeah.
I'm still engaged. What is it?
That kills a performance.
The worst.
It absolutely kills it. I don't want to open up anymore. I also, not only do I not want to like share, I don't want to have fun anymore. With you. And this group was like, you know, front of the, and they were like, and it was like, it was building, and I was kind of like, could you?
Okay,
and then one of the girls said something, and she was really,
and also people in the back can't hear it.
No.
So if you're not repeating their fucking stupid bullshit, you're just a guy yelling at these girls.
These girls that look like they're just laughing. So they're like, what is this guy fucking, he doesn't like their laugh. So I was like, I keep saying stuff, and there's a back and forth. And finally, when I said something, the one girl who's like the drunkest turns and she spits on the ground. And I was like, did you just fucking spit on the ground? Like, you're a pig. You know that? You're a fucking pig. Why don't we bring you a bucket so you can eat and drink and spit into your own fucking bucket, you pig? And like, it was perfect. A server had just taken a bucket off of another person's table, and in the moment he walked up and put a bucket in front of her.
Oh yeah, support.
So the whole crowd laughs and applauds. She, who's drunk and kind of confused, wants to, like, you know, wants to play out. She thinks we're like fucking improvising right now. She picks up the bucket to give it back to him and falls over another table. So now, like, her legs go up in the air, and people, and like, it's a fucking, just a mess. And then her friends start yelling at me, how dare you call her a pig? And I was like, she spit on the fucking ground.
And she's on the table.
Look at her. She's fucking, her ass is up in the air. There's spit on the ground. Who fucking does that? And it just built. And then they're yelling more at me. Well, I'm getting more angry because now I realize there's almost like no hope. There's no way they're going to follow the show. So I'm just pissed about that.
How far in are you?
15 minutes. It's bad. And then I get really pissed, and I start yelling at them, like, and I'm just, you know, at that point, I'm just trying to insult them. I want to hurt their feelings.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, there's
someone's gonna cry.
You know, I know they probably rode up on you, and your trough is out back. Why don't you go there and feed?
Kept going with the pig thing.
Pig, and and then the girl, her friend is losing it. They end up carrying the friend out. Bouncer has to pick her up. And
the original one?
No, the friend that's supporting. How dare you call her a pig?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because she's like defending her friend. And I'm just like, I'm not even letting her voice, like, let anybody hear. I just keep going like as hard as I can. And then finally they're out of the room, and I'm looking at the door that they pulled them out of, and I'm like, and I look back, and the whole audience is like, God damn, like just wide-eyed, like,
where are we going now?
And I was like, you can't spit on the ground, guys. Like, I didn't know what else to say. I was like, it's disrespectful. Did that work? They were kind of like, and I realized that I couldn't go back to like, so the other day. So I had to stop the show and be like, look, you come to the show, and I had to give like a lecture on proper behavior. And I was like, I apologize for like losing my shit in front of you. I know it's not fun, but I was like, look, and I had to explain in detail what happened. And then people were like, no, that's cool. And like, you know,
all right. So
put this back on the tracks if you can. Free ticket, bro.
We're kind of with you.
We came for free. This is a pretty cool show.
Well, that's all you can do is like, hey, something happened.
Right?
Yeah. You know what I mean? This is not, you know, you'll remember this.
At least, you know, I think in those situations when you lose your shit, if somebody has your side, you at least feel a little bit justified.
Oh, but that moment where you just know, you know, like when you've said cunt.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or you got the crying bachelorette, or, you know, something's just gone. You know, or you're sort of going in on some woman who's got with a dude, and then, you know, like you start something funny, and then all of a sudden you realize the dude's not looking at you too funny anymore at that moment. Or you ever like lay into some dude that then, like, you know, he's got no legs or something that moment.
Oh, I did that one time on a clap. And you never do something that's totally out of like the norm for you. Like it's a behavior or a gesture or something.
Right.
Just in that one moment you decided to do it. I walked up on stage, and I never do this. But as they're applauding, I start applauding back to them, but in a manner of like, why don't you applaud more? Like I'm staring at people.
At
like,
a guy like, where's your
fucking applaud?
How come? This is the show.
So more people applaud.
Yeah.
And then I find a woman in the front and I go like this to her, like clapping.
Yeah.
And looking at her, and she just keeps looking at me. And the man who's with her puts his arm around her, but like in a really protective way, and just stares at me like, hey man.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and then I look and she has no arms. So she just has a coat over her no arms. And I'm like, And I know that we're like the only ones who have, so I'm not, I go, moved on. I don't want to like make it worse. Yeah. And I just go, I was driving here today. It was crazy.
Right into it.
Yeah. And then after the show, even though it was totally unspoken, she comes up and she goes, I totally know what happened. And she goes, I have a million jokes about my situation. So it's fine. And I was like, I didn't know you didn't have hands, you know.
You're like, did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris, how does it work? How long you been with Christina?
8 years.
Really?
Yeah.
How long you been married?
We've been married just over 4 years.
It's going good?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, she's fun, smart, man.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Like, I didn't really get to know her until she came over and did the podcast, but she's sharp.
She's super sharp. She's awesome. Yeah, we have, it's worked out great that we found each other, that we get along well, and we just have a good time together. We just make each other laugh.
And you're working together.
Yeah. I mean, it came from the podcast. The podcast is what is the thing that we do together all the time.
And you guys are doing all right with that? You got a lot of listeners?
Yeah. I mean, we're not like fucking your level, but we have enough where it's like there's a following.
Yeah.
They're really diehard. Yeah. Like super loyal listeners.
Yeah. Yeah. People get very invested in your life
and
when you.
Yeah. We share, they know us so intimately. And then like my family are regular call-ins on the show.
Yeah.
So my dad's always on talking about his bowel movements and like that's all he talks about.
Does he know he's on the show?
Yeah. And then, but like he just loves talking about it. And then I was with him when he shit his pants, so I got audio of him moments after he shit his pants, which is really.
So that's breaking news.
Breaking news on the show. And they know my sister, my lunatic sister with the 1-year-old and her crazy coffee orders. Like they know everybody really intimately on the show.
Yeah.
And that's been super fun, and that we get to do that together. And then we normally don't get to work together. We're doing the circuit of, I'm in fucking Houston.
You're both headliners.
Yeah. And she's in San Jose and DC, and I'm in, Chicago. So now.
Why the fuck wouldn't they package you? I mean, that's a very odd thing.
They've tried, but it's always like, I don't know. It's just usually not. It's not always the most enticing offer, and we're like, nah, I'd rather just go do my.
Oh, right.
So, but now we're trying to take more control of it.
Yeah.
So it's a thing where like this way we get to be together instead of spending every fucking week apart, and then and it's to an audience that wants to see us.
Yeah, it's great. So, I'm the only issue with that with it is that like I love my fans and they're great, but they're sort of like they know everything.
Yeah.
And they know everything.
Yeah.
So you go do your jokes and they're like, that's great, but how's your dad? Which is nice. I mean, I like that too.
Yeah.
But like there's already sort of this weird kind of like, how do you continue to fill the content?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you always want to go out, like, you talk about everything on the podcast, and then sometimes those become jokes.
Yeah.
Things get honed, but then like sort of like it's going to get to the point where it's like, oh my God, you guys you're all here, and that thing that happened last week, and this morning, let's start with this morning. It really forces you in that situation where I got to stay on top of this shit.
You ever take a shower? It's like a really hot shower.
Yeah.
Like,
that happened today.
I
got nothing on it, but I'll have something on it. Yeah. But when you deal with my second wife was an aspiring comic. Did you guys? Was there fucking? Do you have problems with like who's going to do that one and what?
No, not really. I mean, it honestly has like worked out like where we started around the same time. We got to know each other. We kind of developed around the same pace, and like most of the time, it's like we'll have a conversation, and whoever says like the funny line about whatever we're talking about, they said the joke, so it's never been a thing like. Forget the one that was last week, but like she said the joke, and then she's like, that's mine, right? And I was like, yeah, you just said it. Like,
you
I'm not going to steal shit from your mouth that you just said. So,
right, but do you ever go like, well, I kind of did the setup.
I kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I drove you there.
Well...
You tagged it, but, you know, it's my setup.
Concept was all me.
Does that happen?
No, it really doesn't. I swear it doesn't.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So how do you get from Florida to America's Most Wanted, though?
What
the fuck was that career
That's
path?
crazy, right? I went to high school with one of John Walsh's kids, and he was the host of the show.
Yeah.
And then when I was at college, randomly, I saw him on campus with his kid taking a tour of the school.
Yeah.
And his, I just went up to him, and I was a TV production and radio production major. So I just said hi, introduced myself to him, and he was like, "Oh, if you want an internship, like at the show, because we had to do internships actually that summer. Just here's my office's number. Just call him."
Yeah.
So I called. I got an internship there when I was in school over the course of like the summer after my junior year.
You were in school in D.C.?
No, I was in school in North Carolina at a really small school called Lenore Rhine.
Where in North Carolina?
In Hickory.
That's fucking nice there, huh?
Small, just really small.
But North Carolina's pretty, man. I mean,
beautiful.
It's weird
beautiful.
Thing about how your
only school I got into. But yeah, it's beautiful.
But it's weird how your opinions change about the South once you sort of spend time there.
Carolina's
fucking
stunning.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I like the people. I used to condescend, but even you ever had that moment where I did a show in Louisville.
Mm-hmm. Louisville. Yeah.
And some dude, like in his 60s, he looked just like the kind of guy I'd be like, what the fuck is that guy doing here? He came up to me, he's like, I've never heard of you before, and that was the greatest show I ever saw.
Yeah.
And you're just sort of like, he's one of my people then.
Yeah.
I should, why do I pigeonhole myself?
You get surprised a lot when you have your prejudgment about, especially I think about the South.
Yeah.
Some of those people are totally on board, on the same level.
And if you're vulnerable and you're sweet and you're for real, of
course.
It's only when you bring the condescension
to
the stage,
of course,
that you're going to get into trouble.
Yeah. And then they, a lot of times people that you're, like the ones that never heard of you, they just, and goes for the South, but for anywhere like that, they think it's cool that you brought these thoughts of yours out and said them. And they're just like, that was so crazy. You said shit like that. I've never heard somebody talk out loud like that. And you're like, wasn't that fun? They're like, that was a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah.
You said all kinds of crazy. I don't know where you come up with this stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah.
You're like,
that's the best fucking moment.
It is. Yeah. It's better than somebody who knows you.
Yeah, in a way it is. It is because that's our job really. Now everything's become so niche marketed. We think all we want to do is talk to people that know us, but we're still sort of like, I want to just go, do my job.
Yeah.
And then when those random things, I don't know where the fuck you are in that head of yours, but good luck with everything. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You seem to be in a little trouble.
That's the best is when they think you
got problems.
Wow.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a wild one, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we hope you stick around, if you know what I mean. I've had people they're like, take it easy out there. I'm like,
it's a joke.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah. This is how I'm taking it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am taking it easy.
So you do the internship at the fucking place.
Oh, yeah. I do the internship. I go back to school for a senior year.
Oh, yeah.
And then I go to Boston for the summer to do real estate.
What?
My friend was doing real estate.
So you know what the fuck you wanted to do?
No, not really. I mean, I knew I wanted to get into really doing comedy, but I didn't know which avenue. It was scary, yeah.
Yeah, how do you do that?
So he was like, dude, renting apartments to people in Boston is a fucking cash machine, and it's super easy. And he's like, all you gotta do is come up here, pass the test, and you just show apartments. Yeah. Like, you don't have to know anything.
Yeah.
Because there's such a demand.
The students.
Yeah. And there's 61 universities.
And they're all rich parents.
And they all have to pay the commission to rent the apartment just for you showing it to them.
Yeah.
I went up there. I kept failing the fucking real estate test. And then he's like, dude, you really got to pass this test. And after the third time I passed the test, I started working. I only stayed 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And in those 8 weeks, I made, this is 2001.
Yeah.
$12,000 or $13,000 in 8 weeks, which I thought I was out of college. I was like, man, real world is awesome. You make tons of money doing this shit. Yeah, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I do not want to do, I knew, right? I was like, so when I got a call from America's Most Wanted, the people that I interned for them were like, we'll offer you a job 3-month contract, and then you can re-up after that.
Yeah.
I went back, worked for them, was totally miserable.
In D.C.?
Yeah.
Did you like D.C.?
I did. I just knew that I didn't want to do that job anymore. I mean, I kind of like the area. I like bigger cities. I feel.
But like, was the job, did you feel dirty?
No, it wasn't that at all. It was just like, they gave me actually much more responsibility as an intern. I was essentially producing episodes of one of their spin-off shows as an intern.
Yeah.
Like, and they were just getting a free producer.
Yeah.
And I was like really doing it.
Right.
And then here they were like, you know, just research that stuff, and like, nothing I said counted for it. I was almost a PA.
Yeah.
After doing like real producing.
So it
work for
just
them.
became a grind.
Yeah. And I was like, this sucks, man.
Yeah.
So I
Were you
was like,
surprised at how many people that they were looking for were from Florida in some way?
it felt right. It felt right.
There are, right? A lot?
There's a lot of Florida.
Yeah.
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 And even now, like,
Yeah.
you just, like, when I see crazy stories come up, they're like, and then he hid 8 bodies.
Who's that
Yeah.
genius who made that Twitter account? Florida Man? Are you hip to that?
I haven't even seen that.
It's great.
Really?
It was really a strike of genius. The Twitter is just Florida Man, and all he seems to do is pull headlines out of Florida newspapers. So like, Florida Man beats friend with axe.
Oh, or Florida Man like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's great. You got to get hip to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to send links. My friend and I would send articles to each other about from our home. Like, he was from Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, here's one from Florida today. Just a great, he's like, this is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
this kid, a kid kidnapped his mother?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then he fucking ran the car into a school, and then you're like, and this story doesn't even make,
Yeah, national news.
no,
Yeah.
like, you just had to read a,
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what that is. Why that is down there.
It's not a lot of rules, man. It's kind of a law. I mean, nothing's totally lawless anymore, but
Right.
you know, there's like, it attracts people because there's no state income tax.
Right.
So that's always alluring to people, and it's alluring to the people at the top
Yeah.
who make a lot of money. They want to protect their money,
It's alluring to people got nothing.
and it's alluring to like, I just did 7 years,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I need a fucking place to
Right.
go, you know.
Right.
And there's a world for you if you want to be on a golf course.
Yeah.
And there's a world for you if you are a fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
And you can fit into your own circle. There's
Right.
plenty of you.
Yeah.
There's other people who are not going to be
So
like
scumbag communities.
very scummy communities. Yeah.
There's all levels of scumbag.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you quit that gig
Yeah.
and then you moved to.
I do. Yeah. So I quit the gig, and then I decide I want to move to LA.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just want to pursue it. And then I come out here, and I sign up for the Groundlings.
You did?
Yeah. And I went through the first level, the second level, and then in one of those, I think in the first level, I had comedians in my class.
Yeah.
Who were already doing stand-up, who said, like, you should try doing stand-up.
So you were doing sketch and improv.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was just doing, like improv classes. I wasn't even really, I was just doing the classes. And then they're like, you would like stand-up.
Yeah.
And they got me on a show.
Yeah.
Introduced me to somebody as if I was. They were like, he's a stand-up.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you know what I did for my first stand-up show?
What?
I invited people and told them I was a stand-up, and not that it was my first time ever doing stand-up.
Yeah.
So they're like, you do stand-up? And I was like, yeah, man. Yeah.
How'd that go?
No, I mean,
Was it all right?
it was okay. Here's what made it okay. It was really small, like 20 people at a bar.
Where? Oh, you
It was called The Good Bar.
Yeah.
It's not even there. It's always
Yeah.
on Sunset.
Yeah.
And they had the list, the order,
Yeah.
and I was like 7th.
Yeah.
And I was in full fucking panic.
Oh, yeah. That's
Like, just pounding beers.
the longest hour in the world.
Oh my God. And the MC goes up, this woman, older woman, I remember I was asking, I was like, I'm 7th, right? And like, yeah, you're 7th.
Yeah.
And then I'm just listening to her
Yeah.
open the show. She goes, all right, your first comic tonight is, Tom Segura. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, that's probably the best thing that could happen.
It was the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
I ran up there, and as I'm shaking hands with her, I was like, hey, I thought it was 7th. And she goes, oh, yeah, you were. I was like, thanks. And I get up there and just nonsense, whatever I talk about for like
Sweat through it.
But then get done with it, get some laughs, like enough
Yeah.
where it's like, they're like, yeah, I guess he's an alright fucking guy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
And then, but not like, he's not the worst fucking comic I've ever seen.
Right.
And then I got off and I was like, holy shit, I did that. You
Yeah.
know, and then
The seed was planted.
it was planted, man.
That's it.
And then that's actually what led to me not finish. Like the next level at the Groundlings was writing lab.
Yeah.
For like writing sketches.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And they call you for it, and I was like, I can't do it because I was doing like gigs.
Yeah.
And then they call you a second time.
Yeah.
And if you turn down the second time, they just don't call you anymore.
Yeah.
So
You were out.
I was out.
And that was it. And
That
then you
was it.
started doing what? Just the improv? Did you get into the improv? How long did it take to? Because LA is a weird place to start.
It is weird.
Like when people come here, like I only know a few guys that genuinely, honestly started here.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. You would think it'd be easier to come up, but I don't know if it is. Because everybody sort of sees you at every level that you're at.
I got lucky with the improv.
Yeah.
I got lucky with the improv because I got in early.
Yeah.
And I basically was able to, once I got to open, like on a few shows, because we have Hollywood, we also have Brea, Irvine, Ontario, which is kind of that
They
southern,
need hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would just be like, I could just put in like, hey, host. And then once I got bumped up to feature for them after a couple of years, I was able to parlay that into like, hey, I'll feature at any of these other clubs.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, they're not going to pay you shit.
Right.
I'm going to rack up credit card debt buying plane tickets.
Yeah.
It was a way to like get in at all the clubs.
Get in and also get do time.
Yeah, do tons of time in front of real audiences.
Yeah,
all over the country.
And was there comics like bigger guys that pulled you along? Or
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
Like who?
Jay Moore.
Yeah.
Rogan.
Yeah.
Russell Peters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all those guys. I toured, opened for a number of times. It was great. I mean, it's a huge boost to get full houses of like.
Oh yeah.
excited.
See how your jokes work. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like when you realize that you're performing to people with expectations who are paying and want a good night, and then just to be around.
And you've been validated by the
big headliner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they know that like, you're supposed to be good.
Yeah. So let's see it.
Let's fucking see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were great experiences. All three of those guys took me to places I didn't, I would not have gone to.
Yeah, and those are solid dudes.
Yeah.
And they got big followings.
Huge. Russell took me to London. I did the O2 Arena with him.
Wow.
Which was...
How many is that?
16,000.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'd never, ever done anything like that.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't think I ever will.
I mean, you must have to wait a while for that laugh to roll all the way back.
It's a little... I told somebody that the craziest part of that is usually when you do a room like a club or even a small theater and you have a joke that really hits. In your mind, one of the things that happens is you gauged that. So that's how loud it gets in here.
Right. That's how to. Yeah. The timing is
right.
It
so
happens innately.
And so I went through a set, and then I was like, and I had jokes hitting. Everyone's laughing, and I'm like, wow. So that's what it sounds like to hear 15,000 people laugh.
And like you must not have gotten all of the jokes because it takes longer. I mean,
yeah.
Literally a 10-minute set is like 7 jokes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're right. What I mean?
Yeah, you really have to pace it out.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking phenomenal.
But then I get off stage in my mind being like, I did pretty good for these 15,000, and then they introduce him, and they got so much louder. For his introduction than anything I ever said. I got goosebumps. I mean, hair stood up. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it was like someone was like, ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones. Like, that's how loud.
He was huge. He still is pretty
still
huge.
Is huge. Yeah. It was crazy. And it was I was like, this is to watch somebody do stand up.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's stand up.
And Joe's crowds, like, I don't know, like,
phenomenal.
I always picture them as like sort of a gladiator event for some reason.
I think aesthetically, it sometimes is that. But they're awesome audiences. And they are also crazy as far as like the energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they're jacked.
They're jacked up, and it's super fun to do his crowds. I've never had a bad time.
That's great
with his audience.
That's great. That's a good time. So let's talk about before we end it. Like, do you go to Peru?
I haven't been now. I used to go a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I used to go when I was
first cousins and shit.
Oh yeah, tons. And we used to spend I would spend my summer in Peru living with family there.
Wow.
And then they would, because we have opposite summers, they would spend their summers and they would come and live with us.
Yeah.
Growing up. So this is like as a basically 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old. I would go all the time.
That must have been amazing.
It was awesome.
Did you have cousins who were like, want to do some blow?
I mean, almost a todo, por favor.
Some fresh blow?
They weren't really into that. I did one time. This was really stupid. We went down there because you can get some real shit, you know.
You can be in dead shit.
Oh yeah. So there's a lot of coke that comes out of there. But I never got into coke. So,
Yeah.
But I went down there once and I was like, hey, can we get some weed?
Yeah.
And one of my cousins was like, I guess. Like, let me go ask this dude. And so he told the guy, and he was like, all right, you got to give him $20.
Yeah.
And we went to a school campus, and we did like a whole fucking, you know, staged, like
like a handoff?
thing where
Yeah.
he was like, you got $20? And I was like, yeah, man. Slip him $20. And he slides me like 6 ounces. And I was like, what the fuck is this, man? I thought I was getting a little bag. He's like, it's $20 in weed. And I was like, are you sure? Like, do you want $2,000 right now? And he was like, no, it's $20. I was like, all right. And I put it like in a coat, and I was like, dude, like we just moved weight. Like, what are we doing? And we go back to the house, and like we roll up a joint, and we smoke this joint, and I swear to God, like half an hour later, my cousin is like falling off the bed. Yeah. Like sitting there, I was like, he's dead. I don't know what's wrong with him. Yeah. My friend who I brought with me to Peru was looking at me. He's like, what's going on? I was like, dude, I hear trains. Do you hear trains? And he was like, trains? And I was like, you don't hear trains coming? And now he was like, nah. I was like, this isn't weed, man. I don't know what we're smoking right now, but it isn't weed. And he's like, are you cold? And I was like, yeah, I'm real cold. Yeah. And I was like, I've smoked weed 1,000 times. It doesn't feel like this. Yeah. And he was like, I don't know what it is. And I was like, well, it's probably what happens when you get that much shit for $20. Yeah. Somebody just fucking put WD-40 on some leaves. Yeah. We just decided to smoke
and
it.
You had no idea what it was.
No idea what it was, yeah. And we smoked the next night, too.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And the trains come back?
For him.
Yeah.
Not for me.
He got trains
He got trains the next night.
What'd you get?
I just got cold again. I think I was like,
Did you get high, though?
Yeah. Super high. But it was super, super weird, man. My family is, you know, like because there's also people, like my mom always is like, what are you talking about? When I tell her, like, I'm like, you know, you're not white. Like, you're Latin. She's like, I'm white. What are you fucking talking about?
You say that to your mother? It's like, you're not white.
Yeah.
That's
all the
a
time.
Conversation.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. And she's like, I'm white. And I'm like, no, you're Latin. You're Latina.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, but she's like, when we are in Peru, we're white. Like,
right.
She's like, I don't like you go to Mexico, they don't go, you're Mexican. You're, you know, there's white Mexicans.
Right. Those are from Spanish blood.
Right. Which like.
That happened in Peru too?
Of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that was a class system of people that were
and it's
really
still exists. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
Mexico,
yeah, Francisco Pizarro was the one who landed and, you know, killed Atahualpa, and basically 250, 300 Spaniards killed 80,000 native Peruvians.
Yeah.
And
then fuck the rest.
Brought Catholicism
Yeah.
and Spanish.
Yeah.
And then today, still, you know, there's a smaller white population
Right.
who have the wealth.
From probably back then.
For a lot of it probably is passed down from that. And then they're super racist to the native.
Indigenous people.
Absolutely.
That's the worst kind of racism, is like the people who are part of that people that they hate.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's the worst.
I know. Because they're mixed with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You have that blood in you, man.
Yeah, and it's just the worst.
They're like, that fucking scum. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're super open about it, too, is the other thing about, like,
just blatant racism. Shameless.
In Latin America,
Yeah.
but everyone always talks about American racism.
Yeah.
'Cause I think ours is more, like, salacious in a way, and, like, you know.
But it's also more like taboo.
Publicized. And it's also publicized.
wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong. But, like, it's, but we ignore, like, the racism of, like, other countries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's their problem.
Yeah. And it's so blatant.
Oh, yeah. Look, that's where genocide comes from.
Yeah.
We haven't done that here.
Right.
But we did, actually.
Right.
I wasn't part of it, but the Indians, they're not in the best shape right now.
Nah, there's a
Yeah,
few
we
left.
Give them a little something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hit me on 17, buddy. Yeah.
I'm trying to help.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
That's it. That's our show. I hope you enjoyed. I'd like to thank the members of Yacht. Go get that song where they said you could get it. Thank you to Tom. Thank you for listening. Denver, tomorrow night and Saturday, Friday the 23rd and Saturday the 24th at the Comedy Works. Go to WTFpod.com to get the app, to get on the mailing list, to get some merch, to leave a comment, to see who's been on the show, to get some justcoffee.coop. Going to put some new posters up there soon. A lot of things are going on. And as always, hiding a lot of pain. Hope you didn't hear it. Not complaining. This isn't pain related to career stuff. It's just a general ache that goes way back. So have a good day. Boomer lives!